Why do we need inspiration in life? There are mornings in New York when the city is still wrapped in a soft golden glow. I often find myself sitting by my apartment window, holding a warm cup of coffee, quietly watching people rushing to start their day. Life in America is always on the move. Everyone has their own story, their own worries, but when I look into their eyes, I find myself searching for something, inspiration. It's that spark that gets us out of bed, ready to face whatever comes our way, and keeps our hearts warm no matter how busy or overwhelming life gets. I always think of Fifi, my close friend from our college days in Boston. Fifi isn't someone who stands out in a crowd, but she has this special positive energy that's hard to miss. There was a time when our group was exhausted from endless essays and assignments. Fifi suggested we take a break, so we went to Central Park, spread out a blanket under the red maple trees, played some soft jazz, and listened as she shared her dream of driving across America, visiting new cities and unknown places. That simple afternoon melted away all our stress. Fifi made us believe that as long as we held onto inspiration, even the toughest days could feel lighter. Like many young people in America, Fifi's life wasn't always smooth. I remember the first time she got rejected by her dream company in San Francisco. It hit her hard, but she didn't let it break her spirit. Instead, Fifi spent a week walking along the California coast, carrying a sketchbook and some watercolors. Every day, she painted what she saw, wrote down her feelings, and reminded herself, inspiration is what keeps me from getting lost on tough days. When she returned to New York, Fifi still hadn't found a new job, but she was glowing. She told me about strangers smiling at her on the street, the sound of Pacific waves crashing against the rocks, and the freedom of just being herself. That's when I realized inspiration isn't always about big achievements. It's about finding meaning and beauty in the little things around us. Here in the US, people talk about inspiration as a kind of renewable energy. That's why you'll find coffee shops, libraries, and parks filled with people searching for their own spark through conversations, art, or just being in nature. American culture values personal freedom and encourages everyone to find their own purpose and motivation. Inspiration is like sunlight streaming through a window. It's gentle but powerful. It helps us stay open to the world, accept challenges, and smile even when things don't go our way. I once read a study in the US that said people who make it a habit to seek inspiration, even if it's just taking a morning walk or jotting down 3 things they're grateful for, tend to feel happier and do better at work and in life. They're not always cheerful, but they know how to pick themselves up and find meaning in small moments. It could be a favorite song on the radio, a good book from a local shop, or a relaxing afternoon with friends after work. When we're inspired, we see the world with fresh eyes, ready for new challenges, and able to smile through it all. Of course, inspiration doesn't always come naturally. Some days feel heavy, and it's easy to want to give up. But it's on those days that looking for inspiration matters most. Fifi once told me that whenever she felt lost, she'd carve out time for herself. Not doing anything big, just sitting quietly, listening to music, or writing in her journal. Sometimes, inspiration comes from a short chat with a stranger at a coffee shop, a hot cup of tea on a rainy afternoon, or even a few kind words to yourself. I remember a story Fifi shared about an old man living in the suburbs of Seattle. Every morning, he'd wake up early, take a wooden chair to the park, and read under a big oak tree. When Fifi asked why he kept this routine, he smiled and said, "It's how I remind myself that life always has something new to offer even at my age." That made me think, sometimes, inspiration doesn't come from big successes, but from small habits and the belief that tomorrow always holds something good. If you're feeling tired or stuck, try what Fifi does. Give yourself a quiet moment, listen to your favorite song, or write a few lines in your journal. Inspiration might not show up right away, but if you keep your heart open, it will come, softly, like an autumn breeze on an American street. Let yourself feel, let yourself be moved, and don't be afraid to find inspiration in the simplest things. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get swept up in work, responsibilities, and everyday worries. That's why inspiration is so precious. It keeps our minds fresh, fuels our dreams, and gives us the energy to keep moving forward. Inspiration isn't just motivation to act. It's the force that helps us live each day to the fullest. And you know, sometimes inspiration comes from the simplest things. Like a heartfelt, "Thank you." Once, I got a little card from a coworker. Just 2 words, "Thank you." But it warmed my heart all day. In the next story, I'll share with you the power of thank you. How these small words can brighten someone's day and maybe even inspire you too. If this story touched your heart, please hit like to support Fifi and everyone out there searching for inspiration. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. You might be the inspiration someone else needs today. And make sure to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next stories about finding inspiration, overcoming challenges, and living life to the fullest. Thank you for joining Fifi and me on this journey.